Sup folks! Today I have a follow-up guide to the Mastering the Red Zone guide. I wanted to go over revisions to my first Red Zone guide based on the patches released since, share some tips on camping in high tier zones, go over what weapons can currently handle tier 3 through 5, and detail the best parkour routes and tactics. As always, there's chapters integrated in for easy navigation. A couple things have been made incorrect by patches since my first Red Zone guide. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's on screen now. It covers the basics. This guide will go over the fine details. First up, monkeys now attract dogs as well. Decoys are still better, and I hardly ever replace them as they are virtually unlimited with the ammo depots, but monkeys are good now too. They've also reduced the amount of time it takes to throw them, so if you see them, grab them. Specials frequently drop them. The raid stash roof camping spot has also been patched. The zombies will now come up there with you. You can still cheese it without a powerful weapon, but you need a lucky turret spawn and a circuit. Then you can stand here and just throwing knife any that get through or throw a decoy, but it's rare any get to you with the speed of the turret. Otherwise, you'll need a double-packed purple gun with deadshot and speed cola, and you can camp up here. For more info, check the raid chapter of this money-making guide. Since the first Red Zone guide came out, a few things have come out that are a huge help surviving the high-tier zones. You can only get them in the Dark Aether, but they need a mention. Golden Armor, the Aether Blade, and the Dog Bone. For more info on these, check out my Dark Aether guide on my channel. Using any of the weapons in the next chapter, camping is possible in the high tier zones. All you need is speed cola and deadshot and a powerful weapon with a top tier TTK or time to kill. Camping is nice as it's less stressful and tiring on the thumbs than training, and you can stop running and get more aggressive, so it's a satisfying way to clear an area or complete camos. And this way, when you do have to train, you're not already sick to death of it. To successfully camp, you need to find a place with a safe 6. Examples are areas that are walled off with walls high enough zombies can't mantle them, rooftops that only have one spot enemies can get up, and my personal favorite, staircases. These types of areas allow you to clear out a zone and finally have peace and quiet to loot or complete objectives. You can also place an energy mine at the edge of your camping spot for emergencies to be extra safe. A good thing about rooftop camping spots is they can be great for taking out megas. Simply find one close by with one access point for zombs, clear the enemies, and focus on the mega. Being inaccessible to the mega will force his laser attack. Aim at the open mouths for crit damage. When the mega spams laser, even between beams, hitting mouths give crit damage. The best camping spots have choke points that force the zombies to line up. Use Deadshot Daiquiri's critical damage boost and auto-targeting by spamming ADS and locking onto the head. When the zombies are lined up, the bullet penetration can damage multiple zombies and stray bullets hit zombies behind the leader. This makes the best use of ammo and reduces time per kill, meaning you kill zombies faster and use less ammo to do so. This strategy applies to the Dark Aether as well. During the escort, there are some good camping spots near the ACV drop-off. On top of the 4-spired castle where the exfil is decent as well. Climb any of the ladders and all zombs and specials will come up the same way. Another good place is the tunnels under the map. Just keep an eye on your 6 or find a dead end. This is the most balanced weapon selection we've ever had. There's so many good guns, it would be easier to go through the ones that suck. But I will run through the weapon selection real quick and go over my favorites and the ones that I feel will be too underpowered for high tier combat. For assault rifles and SMGs, they are pretty much all viable. I am not a fan of trip shot guns, but that's more of a personal preference. The Modern Warfare 3 standouts for me are the new Season 2 AR, the BP-50, the Ram 7, the Holger 556, and the MTZ 556. For Modern Warfare 2, I like the Chimera, the M4, the M13B, and the M16, which converts to full auto upon packing. For Modern Warfare 3 SMGs, the standouts are the new Ram 9, the HRM 9, the Wasp Swarm, the AMR 9, and the Rival 9. For Modern Warfare 2, the PDSW gets an insane 400 round mag when papped, the Fennec has a crazy fire rate and DPS, and the ISO 45 has top of its class damage and TTK. The battle rifles are nothing to shake a stick at either. Switch to full auto and rocking the new aftermarket Jack BFB muzzle for drastic recoil reduction, these things melt. All three of the Modern Warfare 3 battle rifles are nice. And for Modern Warfare 2, my favorite is the SO14, but they could all hold their own. Shotties are lacking and need a massive buff. That said, 2 currently have an interesting effect upon packing with slug rounds. Each shot fires multiple slugs, delivering very nice damage. The 2 guns that have this effect currently are the beloved Lockwood 680 and recently the Haymaker. The Lockwood features a 10-round tube barrel, and the Haymaker becomes full auto when packed. You wouldn't think any snipers would make this section, but the longbow is barely a sniper aside from damage output. This thing handles and fires more like a marksman rifle, but with way more power. Give it a go, it may surprise you. If LMGs tickle your fancy, any of them are viable options. Just be sure to have a light secondary or fist for running. For marksman rifles, we are a little lackluster, but the crossbow with explosive rounds is a fan favorite, and the Tempest Torrent delivers a very nice damage output and becomes full auto when packed. The handguns are surprisingly stacked. For Modern Warfare 3 pistols, I love the Akimbo tiers with Snake Shot. They are the ultimate boss killers, and when fired one at a time to cover reloads, they can be a horde killer too, especially at choke points. Also great is the WSP Stinger. It has a very remarkable DPS for something with such amazing mobility and handling. The Modern Warfare 2 pistols aren't lacking either. The F-Tech Siege is one of my current favorites to use. It melts everything fast and also has great handling and mobility. Plus it boasts a 72 round mag unpacked, so packed it's a whopping 144 round magazine. On top of this, you have the tier's little cousin, the Basilisk, which recently got a buff, and the Siege's little bro, the X13 Auto. The melee weapons are honestly all good. The standouts for me are the Tonfa dual Kadachis and the dual Kamas for their speedy swing rate, and the Combat Knife, Karambit, and Gutter Knife for their mobility and damage. The Riot Shield can be good on your back as cover from Merc bullets if you're doing something that will have you fighting a lot of them. For launchers, the only truly viable candidate is the tried and true RGL grenade launcher. A king of crowd control, it is the best you can get for clearing hordes and protecting objectives without being a wonder weapon. And speaking of wonder weapons, this guide would be incomplete if I didn't mention the WAF, VR11, Raygun, and Scorcher. The Wonder WAF is the only thing that possibly beats the RGL for crowd control, and it won't blow up your sentry guns. The VR11 melts abominations and specials, turns zombies into friendly mercs, and heals vehicles including the ACV for escort missions. The Raygun got a recent buff and is now a viable candidate as well. And the Scorcher is the fastest method of traversal. This allows you more time to get done what needs done and less time driving or walking. In the first Red Zone guide, I mentioned parkour but didn't go into much detail. Mantling can slow zombies down, but parkouring from roof to roof leaves zombies in the dust. Get used to the locations of the ladders and how much space you need to get onto one and high enough without getting slapped to death. When on the rooftops, diving actually maximizes your height upon pulling the chute, and therefore maximizes distance you can travel while parachuting. This also allows you to hit ledges you might not have thought possible. There are also a few zip lines I wanted to make sure everyone is aware of. These require a lot less space from the horde chasing you, and there are many in the red zone. This one is incredibly useful as this area is the best for staying off the ground using rooftops. It's very easy to lose the horde chasing you up here, and it is a common area for high tier boxes on the rooftops, making it a great area to loot. This zipline is also great as this bathhouse is the location of an outlast, a potential pack-a-punch spot, and a great spot to check for more high tier loot boxes. On top of that, this roof is good for camping as the zombies will only come up from these two ladders. Speaking of the bathhouse, ever wonder what that hole in the middle leads to? There's a sneaky sewer tunnel from the water between the docks and Zone 3. This is a great way to get into Zone 3 bathhouse without the threat of zombies as they cannot swim, thank God. There is also a zip up from the ammo depot close by, and one off this boat inside the large waterways cave near the PAP location by the edge of the red zone. While we're on this topic, climbing onto a wall is a great way to get out of bad situations. From here you can get past a blocked off path, or simply jump off to the other side. Also make use of horizontal zip lines and redeploy drones. Zip lines can be a bit finicky. If the interact prompt isn't triggering, look at the line itself. There's a horizontal zip line from the east side rooftops to the west side. There's also 2 zip lines into the red zone from the docks. And if you're lucky, a redeploy drone will spawn. There's one in the open square at E4 where the mega can spawn, and there's another at the shops across the street from the gas station. You can also hit zip lines in the air with a well-timed interact, just not while the parachute is open. But that about wraps up another one. I hope it helps. Peace!